Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of your Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another Walking Dead video for today. And in today's video, we're going to be doing another video for the Walking Dead universe. We are going to be doing our top 10 least favorite characters of the Walking Dead universe from 2022. Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today. This one's going to be doing a review for The Walking Dead. And in today's video, we're going to be doing another Walking Dead top 10 list. This one is the opposite from yesterday's video. Yesterday we did our top 10 favorite Walking Dead universe characters to come out of 2022. And now we're going to switch things up and talk about what are our top 10 least favorite characters to come out of 2022. So obviously with a list like this, I will make sure to let you all know that this is just my standpoint, my viewpoint on the Walking Dead franchise this year. If there is a certain character in here that maybe you enjoyed and I didn't, obviously keep in mind that it's just my opinion. You can of course state your opinion in the comment section below, and we can, kind of discuss what are the worst characters of 2022. So, this isn't an overall thing. There are some characters in here that I really actually genuinely enjoy. It's just in 2022, the content that these characters were given was really, really bad. So, and then there are a few characters that just genuinely suck this year, and they were never good characters to begin with. So, anyway, starting off with number 10 is going to go to Fear the Walking Dead's John Dory Sr. Now, John Dory Sr. I have to put in here because this guy, I mean, he had one of the worst deaths I've ever frickin' seen. I swear to God, he had one of the worst deaths I've ever watched on Fear the Walking Dead. I mean, literally, you have him and Karen David that are singing over this frickin' death scene. He's dressed like frickin' Spudnik from Friends, I swear to God. And he's walking through a frickin' herd of zombies, and he's, singing in the background while trying to get a little baby Mo over to Morgan. I mean, it's the most ridiculous sacrifice I've ever seen in my life. And honestly, I think it's such a dumb way for him to go out. And I do like the actor. I like Keith Carradine, and I do like his performance as John Dory Sr., so I'm not going to put him too high, but I will put him at number 10 because I feel like he definitely needs to be acknowledged for how bad he was this year. He was a really badly written character. Number 9 is going to be Daniel. Now, Daniel I would have put higher on the list if it wasn't for the episode 14 amnesia kind of realization scene. And I do like Daniel when he's killing some of, Victor's guys. And he's like, when you cuff people, you put their hands in the back, not the front. So Daniel still has minor moments I like him in. But the reason why he makes this list is mostly because of that Ophelia episode. I cannot stand what they did with him in this entire half season. I mean, the memory loss, the not being sure, thinking that Ophelia is in a small little rusty boat, then Luciana lying to him, which we'll get to that in a second. And honestly, there is so much with Daniel that I just cannot stand, but I'll put him at number 9 because as bad as his character is, he still has minor moments I like him. Like I meant to tell you, your Spanish is really good, Like there's a few moments in there where I'm like, oh, that is Daniel. That's a Daniel thing to do. But for the most part, he's a confused old man that thinks that his daughter is on a rusty old boat. So I'm good. I'm good on that. Number 8 is going to be Ali. Now, if you guys don't remember who Ali is, this is the kid that fell in love with Charlie after getting her a whole bunch of butterflies. I'm not joking either. So, Fear the Walking Dead tried a love story episode, and I have to put him on here because as much as I just cannot stand that episode in general, his character is all over the place. He's fetching butterflies one minute, and then all of a sudden he wants to be a ranger for Strand, but then the next moment he falls in love with Charlie, but then the next moment he leaves her behind, and then the next moment Charlie passes out, so then he gets her back to, June or whatever, and then somehow he's able to collect a whole bunch of butterflies and spread them throughout this room. And the whole idea is that Charlie was sent in there by Morgan to turn off the beacon when someone can easily just turn that crap back on. Like, that's the part that makes no friggin' sense. So Ali sacrifices himself by even just trying to turn off the beacon. Like, he doesn't even manage to turn off the beacon. But it's like, even if he managed to turn off the beacon, Howard could just flip that crap back on. Like, it's so ridiculous. And he shoves him off the friggin' top of the roof. He yells like a maniac. And that's basically Ali's character in general. He was awful. He was absolutely awful. And I don't mean to, this isn't a hate piece on the actor or anything either, but I don't even think the actor brought it to life that much. I felt like he was really off in a lot of scenes, and there were a lot of dialogue scenes where I was like, man, you guys could have refilmed that one. So I don't know. I don't, not to take jabs at the actor. Don't get me wrong. It's just I feel like they could have gotten someone better. But at the same time, maybe I feel like the actor was low key like, man, this script sucks. Like I'm gonna give it like a bare minimum. That's possible. Number 7 is going to be Strand. Now, Strand, oh my god, what did they frickin' do to this character? Like, I love Strand, man. I love Strand. But in 7B, I cannot frickin' stand him. And not in a good way either. Like, not in a villain kind of way where it's like, I hate him, but he's so well written. Like a Lance Hornsby type of thing. Victor is just bad. Like, honestly, his arc throughout all of these episodes is literally, I must protect the tower. I can't let anybody in. I'm going to kidnap Morgan's baby. I'm going to raise Morgan's baby in the tower. And then all of a sudden now he lets Alicia into his tower. He wants to bring contaminated walkers over to his tower, but then 2 seconds later, he's like, nah, let's go turn off that beacon so we can save your friends from getting mauled by walkers. Like, he's so inconsistent, it makes no sense. And not to mention, in episode 15, he literally lays in a burning tower drunk out of his mind and gets on a raft and cries. I mean, I swear to God, like, what an awful arc for someone that's supposed to be our main villain of the season, which I swear to God isn't even the case because he's missing for most of 7B. So, I don't know. Victor Strand was absolutely awful. Number 6 is going to be Luciana. Now, Luciana is awful. I cannot stand this frickin' character. I mean, she literally lies to Daniel and convinces him to go into the tower to help her needs, just so Daniel is an extra amount of manpower, which is awful. That's absolutely ridiculous. And Luciana, man, I never liked her, but she finally started getting screen time in this half season, and, next thing you know, Luciana is using Daniel as basically a shield. And she's like, yeah, Ophelia is alive in the tower, Daniel. It's like, oh my god, man, what are you frickin' doing? Like, seriously? Like, that's what we're doing? Like, no, man, that's ridiculous. Coming in at number 5 is going to be Howard, the butler, Strand's butler. So, oh my god, man, like, what a friggin' cringe character. Like, now we're getting into the top 5 where, like, things get really bad. Howard was awful. I mean, he was not intimidating whatsoever. He was talking about how he believes his family is still alive out there years later, somehow in a highly radiated location. He thinks that his family's out there somewhere, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna bring them to this tower one day to show them the legacy that we've built. I'm like, what kind of friggin' legacy are you talking about? A legacy where friggin' Tower Boy throws people off the friggin' roof, which you're helping doing, by the way? Like, it's ridiculous. And karma came to bite him in the ass. He ended up, getting thrown off by John Dory Sr., which that's a dumb scene in general, too, because it wasn't even Howard's fault. He didn't even, do anything wrong. But Strand was so impressed by John, double-crossing him that he's like, oh yeah, shove Howard over anyway, It's absolutely ridiculous, and I feel like the character was just an utter waste of time. And it was originally his tower, too, and he just kind of passed it on over to Victor and didn't really care. So, I don't know. I think Howard was definitely one of our worst villains of Fear the Walking Dead. Number 4 is going to be Arno. Now, speaking of worst villains, this character is awful. Basically, all he does in 7B, because of course we're just covering 2022, he tries to go after Alicia. He kills Paul randomly just because he wants to. And, I mean, he loses his hand. He's speaking Spanish to one-up Daniel and stuff. And I'm like, oh my god, like, he's throwing people in cages. You've got radiated walkers all over his compound. And it's just, he's a dummy. Like, he's an absolute idiot. And he's not, once again, Fear the Walking Dead failed at making him intimidating because he was never intimidating. I remember in season 7, episode 9, too, when you had, like, Paul and Alicia that were trying to get out of the house, and I remember very vividly, you hear him in the background, you hear him, like, outside the house, and he's like, where are you? I'm like, oh my god, man, like, who is writing this? Actually, I know who's writing this, but, obviously I won't go too far on that, but the writers suck, let's just say that. The writers suck on this frickin' show, given the amount of characters that are taking over this list from the same darn frickin' show, so, yeah. Absolutely awful. Number three. Okay, now number three, you guys are gonna have to hear me out on this one, okay? Because I have a gut feeling this is gonna be the number that really offends people. But again, keep in mind this is just my opinion. Number three is going to be Alicia. Now, yes, Alicia is in the top three. Yes, Alicia is on the list. I honestly could have put her even higher than this, and it would have made sense. But this is why Alicia's number three, right? Her character in 7B is literally passing out every 2 seconds. I think I'm gonna die. You know, that I mean that's literally the whole arc. Like there's nothing else. Like she follows a little girl all around a burning tower. She gets a drunken Strand out of the tower somehow. I never understood how they got out of the tower to begin with. Like how they made it back to the MRAP and stuff. She's following a little girl, which you find out is her the entire time. And then as soon as Morgan tells Alicia that I may have found this Padre that you're looking for, Alicia's like, oh, that's good. But the Padre that I've been looking for, though, I'm going to stay back here at this burning tower. You guys go on the rafts. See ya. I got to do this on my own. When clearly Morgan just freaking told you that there's a sanctuary nearby. Like, who is going to walk towards a burning tower? Who is going to go towards a burning tower? And not to mention, the tower was literally on fire, and Alicia's radioing like, yeah, this burning tower, this is Padre, this is your home. We're going to build an amazing place out of this. Like, are you stupid? Like, I understand that she was probably like, you know, kind of confused because of all the, you know, the slowly dying stuff and all that. But that's, I mean, that's another problem right there too. Like, she was slowly dying throughout this entire season, and whether or not you argue that the bite is realistic or it's not realistic, I really don't care. It was a terrible arc for television, and it was a terrible arc to watch. And how many times has Fear the Walking Dead done the whole, I'm not gonna make it. Oh my god, I don't have much time left. I didn't cut off my arm in time. Oh my god, I'm not gonna get through the night. And of course, Alicia ends up surviving, drinks some water, and walks off, you know? I mean, it's not even surprising at this point. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, as soon as Alicia was okay at the end of episode 15, I remember I was sitting there, I was watching with a buddy of mine at the time, and we were both rolling our eyes. We're like, yeah, there she goes. She's alive. Yeah, there it goes. So it's, you know, it's the most by-the-book writing. It's generic as hell. It's predictable as hell. And Alicia's character is probably objectively the worst character of this you know 7B section. She really was. She was awful. But in terms of least favorites, these two are worse, I would say. Number two is going to be Wes. Now, Wes is my least favorite Fear the Walking Dead character of this year. He was awful. I mean, he literally betrayed our group just because Luciana lied to Daniel, as if that had anything to do with him. And he turns on the group, he goes to Strand's tower, and as if that couldn't be bad enough, he ends up somehow taking over Strand's tower completely, getting his people on his side, and trying to take out Strand. And he dies like an absolute buffoon. Like, literally, Strand, like, stabs him, and then he walks back. You know what I mean? Like, it's friggin' ridiculous.
Why would you do that?
Wes is an awful character in this half season. I never liked Wes that much, but like I never hated him or anything. This half season, yeah, he was absolutely awful, and honestly, it's the one time this half season that I thank Strand for doing something. Because as much as I don't like Strand, I'm happy he took out Wes. He really needed to. And then you got like Alicia. Why would you do that?
Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
I don't know. He's been chasing us through this friggin' tower the whole episode. You know, get your head in the game, Alicia. And then my least favorite character of this year for the Walking Dead universe is going to be a Tales of the Walking Dead one. This is a duo. This one is Gina and Blair. Now, I'm including these two together as number one because honestly, take your frickin' pick. Like, you know what I mean? Like, take your pick. Either Gina or Blair. I mean, they both suck, you know? No one is better or worse than the other. I mean, one's a boss, one's the annoying employee. They both try to kill themselves. They kill themselves throughout the entire episode, and eventually they just look so friggin' crazy after the truck explosion that they're like, yeah, selfie, let's take a selfie, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, yeah, that's what we're doing Walking Dead? Okay. Anybody that enjoys Gina and Blair, like, honestly, I wish I could see your point of view because I think that's the worst Walking Dead episode ever made.
The damn vending machine? Gina?
That episode is it should be illegal that that episode made it to TV. I'm not even gonna lie. And anybody that says, well, they were trying to do like a Groundhog Day type episode, holy frig bud. If that was your attempt at a friggin' Groundhog Day episode, then oh my god, man, I don't know what to tell you at that point. But anyway, that is my list. Those are my least favorite characters of the Walking Dead universe to come out of 2022. And no, there is no main Walking Dead characters because, yeah, Walking Dead, the main show, did have some flawed characters this year, but no one that came close to some of these Fear the Walking Dead characters. So this list was practically a fear list until number 1, but those are truly my least favorite of this year. So anyway, if you're new to the channel, make sure to click the subscribe button so don't miss any other videos of The Walking Dead. Make sure to follow me on Dan's The Walking Dead reviews, and I'll see you guys really soon for more videos of The Walking Dead universe. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.
I've heard stories, walkers that can climb walls and open doors. I was never sure if they were just stories